Hi, my name is Brendan Bohan and I am a Solutions Engineer here at SingleStore. Today we're going to dive deep into what the portal looks like and how it actually works. When you first sign in, you're greeted with this homepage. And you get some suggested for you. You can even chat with us with our Chat With Us feature at the top right. Here you guys can see my face and ask any questions you have. And even more, we have interactive tutorials, solutions guides, self-paced training, documentation, system status, asking the community in our forums, and the list goes on. Going over to our deployments on the left side. You see our starter workspace, the overview, the access, the databases that are currently in that workspace, and stage. Up here, it's showing our shared tier option, which is free forever. Next, you can see how to connect to your workspace. We have a bunch of options here. You can connect via Mongo, business intelligence tools, your app, a CLI client, and even our SQL editor. Moving on to our pipelines on the left side, SingleStore provides a native ingestion feature called our pipelines. When you start these pipelines, whether that be from an S3 bucket, a CSV file, Parquet file, Avro file, or even a Kafka topic, you can see them all running on the left side. Moving on to the Data Studio, one of my favorite parts of the SingleStore portal. Here you can do everything you need in the development side of your application. What we're looking at here is our gallery feature. That holds all of our basic notebooks that we have created as a team here at SingleStore. That can include hybrid full text and vector search, basic query examples, or even getting started with notebooks. The list goes on, but here I really want to emphasize our ability to develop all within our portal using something similar to a Jupyter Notebooks integration. Clicking on an example notebook here, employee data analysis with a JSON dataset, one of the many data types that SingleStore supports. And by clicking Try It Now, you can immediately load it into your Notebooks feature and start developing. If you're familiar with Jupyter Notebooks, you'll be aware of how powerful being able to develop in multiple different cells is. And it's not shown here, but you can work with SQL, Markdown, and even Python in any one of these cells. Be sure to click your workspace and the directed database to make sure you're not overwriting someone else's data. And if you go up to the tabs, much like any browser, you can open up a SQL editor. If you prefer it old school, you can run any SQL command in our SQL editor. Moving on to the other tabs, we have Visual Explain. This is used for when your queries are running suboptimally and you need to pick apart that query to see where the bad actor is. On top of our Notebooks feature, we also allow scheduled jobs using these notebooks. So think of it like a cron job in Linux. Moving down to the Monitoring tab, here we have active queries, so you can see any queries that are currently running. Then you have your query history, so you can see the entire history of any queries that you and your organization has run. And another favorite of mine within the portal is the active workload monitoring. This allows you to see your compute, your performance, your master aggregator, your leaf nodes. And then we have historical monitoring and activity history. Those are pretty self-explanatory. Finally, moving on to the configuration tab, you can set up alerts to make sure that you're not overspending, underspending, or your compute is just not performing, so you need to scale up. Onto the API keys, SingleStore provides two different types of APIs, the Management API and the Data API. And finally, integrations. We integrate with Datadog and multiple other sources. They may not all be shown here, but if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. And there you have it. SingleStore's customer portal allows you to develop all within house, see active queries, see your active pipelines, and even scale up on the fly and scale down on the fly. Feel free to explore. And of course, contact us if you have any issues or questions whatsoever.